I started working here when I was 8 years old. Just like, basically this was daycare and night care whenever I got out of school.
My family fled Vietnam after the war. I was about 6 months old.
It's very rare for you to see people that end up working with their parents. Gave me and my little brother a lot of insight of like just a little bit of what my parents had to go through because they came from Vietnam, not knowing any English, without any money.
We boarded a boat with hundreds of people, not knowing where we would end up. Pirates, they took everything that we owned. Being a mom now, I can't imagine taking a 6-month-old baby on a trip that you don't even know if you would survive or not.
You're pretty much looking back and you say, well, if they can go through that, you can go through anything.
What really kind of launched Phuong Bakery into sort of mainstream was our bread, French bread for banh mi's. It's a staple in Vietnam with the French influence. So we started that for the banh mi's, but it took off. It became breads for a lot of po' boy shops around town. I think that's one of the reasons, and that we received the James Beard, the American Classics, the James Beard Award. I think James Beard wanted to push that idea at that time that you don't have to be an American restaurant to be an American classic, because America is so much more than just burgers and French fries. Just to be recognized to be an American classic, I didn't believe it at first. I thought it was spam when she called. The announcement, it made it all the way back there to Vietnam, and my grandmother called, and she's like, "I saw you in the paper over here," and it was just amazing. From the refugee boat in the middle of the ocean to coming over here and being able to build this business. It's still kind of makes me kind of teary-eyed. Once we came to the U.S., of course, the main goal is to survive.
My mother would have to pick oranges off of the street to try to sell them.
I think it's the climate, the temperature, the fishing industry. So that's how there is this large Vietnamese community in New Orleans. We end up in New Orleans East because like most minority or newly immigrants, you usually find an area where it's, I guess, less expensive than most. Because a lot of Vietnamese were just looking for that familiar taste, the familiar cakes, reminds them of home. It was a hit.
And so it was actually my grandmother and my dad that worked here at the restaurant. And we ended up buying the restaurant from the previous owners back then.
So they sold us the business, and it's kind of took off from there, restaurant and bakery. The Vietnamese food, I think, has become more mainstream over the last 20 years. Pho has become almost synonymous with chicken soup, chicken noodle, right?
I get happy when I get to introduce other food other than pho to people, because everyone knows pho. So then I'm like, all right, what do you like? How adventurous are you?
Then you have this idea of the Viet Cajun, this fusion of the two cultures, because we do live in the same community. You start sharing your culture, you start melding. That's the fun of it, right? Some people think, with our king cakes, it's a Vietnamese king cake. We didn't make a Vietnamese king cake. It's a king cake. It's just a really good king cake. I think it was 2008 that we really kind of focus on launching a king cake. There just wasn't that many options, especially for our community. I really wanted them to be able to have a cake that they'll be proud of. Well, we do have our brioche dough. It's a sweet dough. We've been making that for years. Thinking about, well, what processes, what do we know how to do? And one of them was a croissant type, laminating the dough. If you laminate the dough, you create layers, you create flakes in the dough, right? And it makes the cake a lot lighter, a lot moist. So she was like, well, why don't we try that? So we did. We gave that. We started laminating the dough with butter, creating that croissant type of effect. Add cinnamon sugar. The cream cheese icing was an adaptation also, because Vietnamese generally do not like very sweet desserts. We just decided, well, why don't we just add cream cheese to that? That's how Dong Phuong King Cake was born. The first year we made them, I think we sold about 100 the entire season. And I was so excited too. Then the Times-Picayune article came out a few years later, and that's when I think that really kind of put us on the map.
It's when the king cakes blew up was when the business over on the restaurant side also became more busy during the Mardi Gras season. So my whole life has been pretty much during holidays, weekends is out here at the restaurant. Where it starts is my dad. He actually is the one that actually preps all the food. So he marinates the meats. He actually cooks the stock for the pho. It's a long, systematic process that has been growing over the past couple of years. It's just always changing and hopefully improving. The reason why we came back after Katrina, right, is because of this restaurant. Like, this is what has been able to provide financially to our family, to be able to feed us.
I still remember that day when we reopened, customers that come in and they just clapped. They were just so happy. And I think it gave a lot of people hope that, if, Dong Phuong came back, maybe we can too. And we have a lot of customers who have been coming to us for 40 years. It's just a testament to all the hard work that my parents have put into this. That's all they wanted to do, was give people good food and raise a family, giving us a better opportunity. It's the American dream.
The thing that lasts the longest is usually something found and true, and there's a reason why people keep on eating it, right? It has to be good.
We will never leave here, because this is our home, this is our community, so we will always be here.
As long as we provide good food, it doesn't really matter, right?
With every immigrant community, there's a bit of hesitancy. What I want people to know is to not be afraid of trying something different.